Mark is making the comment that just as we come to Jesus by grace alone, through faith alone, so that he might save us from our sin and the power of sin, we also can come to Jesus by grace alone, through faith alone, and he could heal. But why would he do this? Because I want to know, let me go a little deeper. Well, why would Jesus ever heal? To prove to you that he's God, or to prove to us that he's God? Why would Jesus do this? But there's something so unique. You see, Jesus is the radiance of the glory of God, the exact imprint of God's nature. It says, Hebrews 13, that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. And so when we try to get to the heart of what Jesus is doing here, is he trying to prove to everybody that he's God? You just don't see that that's the case. He actually tells them not to tell anybody. Why did he do this? The answer is compassion. That when God sees us grieving, he is grieved. That God is wounded and hurt and is grieved because of our pain and our sickness and our depression. It hurts God to know that we are hurting. We see this, Matthew chapter 9, verse 36. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed, helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. The word compassion, it means to suffer with. Literally means to suffer with, to be sympathetic with, pity and concern, to feel the suffering of others. In Matthew 14, it says, Jesus saw a crowd and had compassion on them and healed their sickness. In Mark chapter 1, when Jesus heals the man with the withered hand, it says he did so because he was moved with pity. And so I think the only thing that Mark is trying to get across to us is come to me, all who have labored and are heavy laden. I'll give you rest for your soul. And some of us, our physical ailments are really hindering our soul. And so he's like, just come to me. I can heal. And as a pastor, I would love to philosophize this and try to get God off the hook in case he doesn't heal you. I would love to do that, but he doesn't give me the freedom. What he's trying to teach us is there's healing, physical healing available to some of those in the body of Christ who he chooses to heal. Now here's the thing that we have to reconcile in ourselves. Not to get God off the hook, but Christ, the ultimate physician, the ultimate healer, was wounded for our transgressions. That he went into the garden and prayed and asked the Father to take the cup of the cross from him. Lord, if there's any other way. And so what we see here in the gospel, the good news of what Christ has accomplished, is that even in suffering and in death, those things at times are what the Lord desires to be best. Now, how you wrap your mind around that is between you and the Lord, but this you just can't get away from that in the gospel. And in a lot of ways, it seems insensitive. But what it's showing us is that God uses all things ultimately for his glory and our good and our benefit. And the great mystery is that submission to God's will is always better than God's healing ultimately. But nonetheless, healing's available.